Why I sell out. Why I sell out to survive, pay the bills, feed my belly when it growls, squinting your eyes and gaze into the expansion piled before me, foaming with the turbulent tide of the undertow, vibrating for more, smoking high adventures in silk jammies, binding the prisoner to the pink padded cell block, wired with leaders, teachers, and warlords, nitpicking your vulnerability till you fit the mold they provide, wage counting and noticing every peanut thrown my way and a ball of chump change on the nightstand, phone tap, I see you watching me, locked away in nonsensical surveillance to keep me in my robotic place I was hired to be, Downton style hierarchy shedding its skin onto the dirty floor, shining brightly in the silver spoon, reflecting the fluorescent Berber cubby of monotony in the mind, spilling the gossip juice, uniting us artificially into smiling submissions of gods and goddesses, programming the herd to jump when I say time to lean. Yes, sir, my urine is on the table, clean as a whistle, and ready to watch the time clock shift the beat of the biorhythms and hold my breath till I rise and rise and rise to see it another way, trickle out love to respect the joy inheritance of collaboration. I support your vision. Would you support mine? Lift the light of one and all are sure to follow. Peer into my eyes and see how much you know of the puzzle connecting us to one another. The vacuum is not just for cleaning. A mission beyond money that breeds prosperity. In its irony, I fail to grasp, while being pushed to see its value and spread its gospel, singing in any way, shape, or form to be heard beyond my own disbelief. Removing the sticky tape placed upon me by the society within myself. Hi, Speak Your Mind audience. So my name is MayaRose, Leah Joy Pearson, aka MayaRose Spoken Word, and today I am your featured. And so I wanted to share some of my poetry that you might not have seen before. As you know, you can see all of my poetry on MayaRose Spoken Word on YouTube, as well as come out, maybe check out one of my live performances. I've been doing a lot in the community, so I'd love to see your faces there. And so this next one is called Minimum Wage. Minimum requirement for life pinched off, up the mountain blindly climbing, receiving breadcrumbs and thankless blood, sweat, and tears. Minimum wage slap the hand that feeds fast food bellies to vote for more struggle in martyr justification. Holding your bladder and frozen smile lined up for the next task. Holy glory in overtime, saving complaints to look good to the Almighty. Dragging hollow bones to the time clock, grumbling undigested cornflakes in the gut. Minimum expectation weaved and mined in dungeons our grandfathers built. Speeding up the hamster wheel to trick reality into smelling plastic pansies, walls closing in, hung with color pictures of conversational oasis. The gall I shame you to insist your feet soak in the tub to break blisters on the concrete floor. Retrofit the golden coffin, nobly entitled to work ethic blue-collar pride. Hyenas wander the ledges, keeping out spiders gated through cookie-cutter houses. Minimum effort in consequence of a bad attitude sourced from intuition, locked in a closet, small business taxing mummies to hold up its dream, spiking the punch in drowsy baby cries, shining the laser light towards the fancy key to take charge of the herd, dissolving hope to soul death, lost in the kinesthetic bubbling up of once upon a time. Fuzzy voices praising the potential of be all you can be, tasting the fire of sweet satisfaction doused in briny swampland, catching fish through the tips of ragged fingertips, ripping out the core of self-depreciating convenience, making master rich, patting obedience on the back. Dawn when the floor invites us to rest our head that tumbled the body off the bed, barely capable to press the palms together, forming an interception that shifts another day gone by in a new dimension. Inviting mass productivity to shake the stage and force a void in business as usual. Picket fence fallen on yellow glass blown to the wind with parched earth settled delicately on fine leather seats in a weekend convertible ungaraged for the summer. Indentured servitude, building your crystal castle at 2 shakes of a lamb's tail and a promise of cocktails at the end of the day. Pencil skirt and Windsor knot parading powerhouse wisdom locked in uniformity to convince the pocketbook that the latter will appear, and a smoke of praise gathered in exhaust fumes. No fight left to go up against a lineage of capital industry, embedded in nature and driven by the invisible ghost possessed by us all, shedding layers of self-esteem. Broken up by ambition and trophy attractions and love not of character but statue and steadiness. A club of masters that haze a generation. On the backs of peasants and peacemakers with false compassion to the plight of the weak, lazy and loyal donkeys that tread through the canyon trails, wishing for nothing less than unclaimed significance. Loyal soldiers content to wear the badge that blood made sacred and suits made legal. Weary on, my brother, pulling his weight to hold the family together, rocking the baby to sleep. Wonder more, dear mother, watching the children play in a field of buttercups, resting to dig deeper with the soul seekers, blessing the wanderers escaping in patience, giving new earth and simple satisfaction to us all. A paradise lost upon his victims, and set behind a backdrop of revolution charmed in the book of history, maybe to repeat, comfortable to not. Well, welcome everyone to a special Speak Your Mind. If you haven't noticed, I am the featured artist, and I have here a really special guest, Tyler Pruneau, did I say it right? Who is a local writer and journalist who is going to be asking me the questions. So this should be fun. This will be fun for me. I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to just hand it over to you. Welcome, Tyler. Everyone, welcome, Tyler.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's bring it back to where it all began. When did you know you wanted to start a show?
So I actually met a woman named Maribel Brooks. We lived in town together, and I met her actually at the gym. She was teaching a salsa class, and she said she had this community access TV show. I told her I did poetry. I want to be on her show. So she brought me in as a guest, and so I was a guest on her show called Spoken Voices twice. And she had been urging me for a year to have my own show. And at the time, I wanted to do it, but I had just so much going on, and she just wouldn't let up, thank God. She's like, you need to have a show, you need to have a show. So finally, it all, aligned where they had a producer training that summer. I happened to be free on those days. I came in, did the producer training, and just during the producer training, the idea of the show, of how I wanted the show to be, came to be. And then after that, I sat down with Mark Ingram, who is the trainer here, and he helped me really flesh it out so that it actually was a good show and met the format of what television format should be.
Why did you want to start a show?
I wanted to start a show because I have my sort of roots in broadcast television. I went to Eastern Connecticut State University, and I worked at the TV station. I did the news, I did the weather, but we also had free range of the studio, and so we would do our own shows. I also did a lot of improv at the time as well, and sketch comedy, and we were able to utilize that studio to do our own thing, edit, get on camera. And so I really liked all of the aspects of being in the studio, between the control board, like I said, editing, the camera, just being under the lights. And so I thought that this would be a good way to bring what I do with spoken word, marry it with my background in in broadcast television. And I wanted to kind of and this evolved later. At first, I just was thinking, because I go to a lot of open mics. I'm like, okay, if I can just record open mics and give people the feel of an open mic, but in their living room, then it evolved into, now I also want to feature local artists. But really, actually, let me go back a little bit. My very first idea was to be able to give folks at home a way to be creative and write. Because when I'm at open mics, a lot of people who come up to me are mostly women who, they kind of like, come here, almost like it's a secret, a dirty secret. They're like, I have some poetry too. And I'm like, what? You have some poetry too? They're like, yeah, I write, and can I share this with you? And I'm like, there's so many people out there who are at home and they're writing poetry, but they don't either have the courage or they don't think they're allowed to go to the open mic and say it. But they're so super creative, so I wanted a way to reach them, for them to feel like they have permission to write, as well as bring in some writing prompts, for them to get ideas, but also for me to learn new writing prompts from all of our wonderful local artists who just write in a different way than I do, because I have certain things I write about, but I want to expand my horizons and be challenged as well. That's why we do a writing challenge in the center, in the middle of the show. But not today, because it's about me today.
What were some of the challenges you faced when first starting?
Some of the challenges when first starting, I think, was just really just trusting the process, trusting it was all going to come together. My biggest challenge was just watching myself on video, over and over again. And, I started off my first couple shows where I'm yelling at the camera, I'm trying to do this Oprah, hi, everybody. Also, getting used to the format. We had a couple different ways we did the format, where we had the stage over there for a while and figuring out where to put the cameras, and just trusting that it's okay to make mistakes in the beginning. We're still learning that the show's going to evolve into what it is now. And so learning how to just relax and not get so stressed out and, and not kind of putting the cart before the horse. I think that was the biggest challenge.
And you talked about this a little bit, about how you wanted to encourage people to come out and speak their poetry. But what message do you want to leave people with when watching your show?
I think two messages. One, I want them to have the message that anyone can write. We all have something to say inside of us. Our insides are always sort of grumbling with some thought process, whether it's an opinion or a thought about the state of the world, or just an opinion or a thought about their garden, their backyard garden, or their relationship, or their own, their own trials and tribulations in life. And that writing is a very good way, not only therapeutically to get some of that stuff out, but also a way to kind of reintroduce yourself, to that hidden part of your voice that you don't always get to hear, and doing it in a way that's very beautiful and inspiring and creative. And that you don't have to be a professional, you don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be anyone except someone who has an idea. And then the other message to me is to really speak your mind. The show's called Speak Your Mind because I think that there are, especially in today's world with the 24-hour news station and politics being so volatile, people kind of get on and they, especially on social media, they just want to kind of just throw everything in everyone's face and have arguments. And to me, it's okay, you can package your argument or your opinion in a way that's more palatable. Because if you do it creatively, you can speak the truth. You can speak truth to a lot of things that are going on in this world that you don't agree with or you don't like, or highlight things that you do like in a way that is going to, I always say, it's entering the back door of the brain, of the consciousness. It's not so in your face, it's not so defensive, it's not confrontational, but it's a way for people to kind of relax and let the words sort of flow through your entire body viscerally to expand people's mind and get them to have a new perspective on things that they're so set in their ways with their no, I believe this way. But when you hear it in a poetic way, you can say a lot of truth without offending people, or maybe offending people but doing it in a way that's creatively they're not going to try and punch you out. So 2 things.
How has using the public access studio helped you grow an audience and become bigger?
I think it's really helped. One, I just, I believe in public access so much. I'm really involved in, community events, community organizing. I think that the more we come together as a community, the more peace we'll have in the world because we're relating to each other as people and not behind a screen. And we're really seeing each other's humanity. And so I feel like public access is just another extension of that, being able to kind of like just highlight what's great about us individually on the smaller level rather than this sort of, we get so global about things all the time, but it really is about your neighbors. It's about the person, that you see down the street at the supermarket. And so that's helped me to connect with my community a lot deeper. Not only I'm in Southbury, here obviously we're in Newtown, but in Connecticut in general. And especially with the local artists, it's allowed me to look at local artists a little bit differently rather than just going to the open mic like, oh, I'm going to speak my poetry and then leave. I'm like, oh, wow. That person has something interesting to say. That person is unique. Oh, wow, that person, people need to know about that person. So it allows me then to reach out to them, make a new friend, but hopefully introduce Connecticut to some artists that you wouldn't normally see. If you're not going out, if you're not at the local open mic, you wouldn't know about this person. And there's just so much creativity in this state.
And you have a YouTube channel. You post on there a lot, similar stuff of what you do with poetry. Comparing the public access station to YouTube, what are the limitations between the two?
Well, YouTube works well for me because then I can blast stuff out on Facebook, because you could put the links, whereas for community access, it airs on channel 192 once a week, and so you have to have the cable station to be able to see it, which is nice because there are a lot of people who are at home watching cable access, and so that's reaching an audience that's not necessarily on social media, which I like, but with YouTube, I can put it out on something like Facebook, which is my favorite, but also I can email links out. So if I'm gonna be looking for a place to go to speak my poetry or to get a job or introduce myself to someone, I can take the YouTube link and then just send it to them. So that it's very helpful in that way in spreading the word. And it reaches a larger audience through YouTube.
And final question, what advice would you give to someone looking to start their own show?
Oh, I love that question. So advice I would say is, one, just do it. Do not hesitate, because I think sometimes, perfect is, what's that saying, that perfect is the killer of done. So people think that they have to have a fully fleshed idea before they walk in the door. But the reality is, come take the producer's training class. When you get here, you are really well taken care of. Even if you don't have an idea, you come take the producer's class, and Mark really walks you through it. He really helped me flesh out my ideas to create the show into what it is. So you have a lot of that guidance. Plus you meet other people who are in the producer's training who may have an idea. So even if you don't want your own show, you can come and do camera or work, sound or tech with someone else's show. And as you're watching someone else's show, you might think to yourself, oh, wow, I have an idea. I want to do a show, whether it's a special, a one-off, or a series, like ours is a series. It just gives you an opportunity to just be inspired. So let yourself be inspired. Don't hesitate whatsoever. Even if you do nothing with it, come at least step foot through the door and just see what you're made of. And it's very rewarding. I think it builds self-confidence as well. And like I said, it gives you something to talk about at a dinner party. Instead of sitting there in the corner what do I talk about? Or I'm going to talk about the weather or the same old thing. It's oh, wow, I just, I ran the camera at public access, or I was able to do some editing. And it just makes you a more well-rounded person, I think.
Yeah, it gives you the experience, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's all I have. I first want to thank you for letting me come on the show today. it gave me a lot of information myself.
Wonderful.
And I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tyler, and good luck to you in your budding journalistic career. And you said you're at UConn,
Yes.
correct? So you're a senior?
Yes.
And you said you're going into sports journalism?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you have like a specific team that you like to follow?
Football.
Football,
Yeah,
okay.
There's a lot of controversy. I'm a Chiefs fan, so.
Yeah. How about UConn Huskies?
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
100%.
Yeah.
100% Huskies.
Nice. Do you want to do local level or ESPN level?
I would love to follow a team.
Nice.
That's the dream.
Good for you. Well, good luck to you, and thank you so much for coming and, and having an interest in this show, having an interest in community cable, and, and following your dreams and doing what you love to do, because that's what it's all about. So awesome. So Tyler Pruneau.
Yes.
Is that right? All right, everyone, folks at home, let's just give it up for Tyler Pruneau, a writer and budding journalist. And thank you so much for allowing me to be interviewed. This is fun. It's fun to be in this seat instead. And remember, on YouTube, we are Speak Your Mind, Spoken Word TV. But you can see us every single week on Channel 192 right here on local cable. And don't go anywhere, because there's more poetry by me. So stay tuned.
Yes, sir. A no good thug. A colored boy mulatto, not raised right, disrespecting the law. A criminal at the core of his DNA, Negro. Strip him down of all his humanity, revoke his right to vote, and set him off to fight the fires of the white wealthy for chimp change. But no, it's not about race. Miseducate him and leave him to fend for himself among the chaos that is his history. We all done deserve what comes to us if we don't keep our nose clean. Concrete wallpaper and liquor store hallways are no excuse. Pull yourself up, ingrate. I did it. I got by. No one paved the way for me. Slavery has nothing to do with the politeness I choose to put in my voice. Bus boycotts and water hose beatings did not touch my college fund. Crack, heroin, deadbeat dads, and single moms has nothing to do with my inheritance of love. My suburban security and ambition has no bearing on your decision to act a fool. Pull your pants up. Speak to me proper, boy. A knee on the neck. Help the heart of this civilization. Make peace on the dead souls of our ancestors. The middle place, in which the black on my face covers up the white genes I carry within. Unable to fully embrace the shame that history has set upon my people, I have no right to claim my part in the ethnic grand falloon of fried chicken, collard greens, and God Almighty. White girl trapped in a black girl's body, a dancing offbeat to the music. Unsettled identity found in a box of relaxer and a Debbie Gibson song. I give props to Mariah in a language that I am not supposed to use, the slang of which dangles suffocating my outward appearance. A shell of myself that I am obligated to pay tribute to in a mode of composure that keeps our reputation in good standing. The public view of my kind weighs solely on my ability to act right. However, my whiteness gives me a free pass, a waiver for things like sports, spelling, and oppression. Though the native whisper from our ancestors' blood transcends this segregation with a gentle wisdom from above. A letter read. Elizabeth Warren berated. Coretta sing, Coretta strong. I oppose justice, hear our voice. Sweet Home Alabama sung around the fire, a summer anthem. A woman, black silky skin speaks. Chill the free exercise of the ballot, walk with me. Terror, still she stands. A shabby attempt, Mr. Man. Justice, chairman, committee, reprehensible conduct rewarded to the highest office. Have deaf ears lost this legacy? Divine masculine, rooted together towards a better kind of life, and prayers to die a natural death, love and calculation. A king of kind and dinner on the table, resolve made immortal. Service by two and the work goes on, though she grieves. A podium set in a pool of blood. Peace by a nation, reaching past a vision of short sight. Inspiration by a movement left in our hands, and a holiday. So I also have a book, Poems from My Broken Heart, so you can get that on Amazon by my given name, Leah Joy Pearson. But my stage name is MayaRose, MayaRose Spoken Word. You can also find my poetry in the volume 2, which is the Open Mic Surgery, Never Ending Books series, collaboration series, which we had Brian Embers here on the show, if you remember. He is the host of Open Mic Surgery, so go back and check out some of those episodes. So this is one from my book called I No Longer Believe My Heart. I no longer believe my heart. What does that thing know about life? It only sees emotions. Clouds of dust and smoke, illusions of fear and hurt that disguises itself as truth. I feel so deeply that I am confused by reality, lost in a perception of who I am, defined by others, family, friends, and a society of perfectionists insisting that I generate more and relinquish my own inner truth. They are not going to bring me down, I declare, here and now as I dig deeper into my unconscious knowing, into the lonely chambers of this broken heart to find the beauty and joy that is my birthright. It is not them. It is me. I see you. You are me. We are one. Teachers on this journey, guiding one another. We are all images of love buried by obligations and insecurities, trying desperately to swim in the sea of everlasting peace, occasionally pushing each other down through jealousy and fear, not knowing that we want to attain is the ocean of self-expression that lies within our soul, with a voice, waiting to explode pieces of art, poetry, music, love, and all the ways we as humans choose to paint the world with the colors of ourselves, connected to the well in the sky. Jump in and you can fly. Jump in and you can fly to the basin of cosmic creativity, splashing fantasy at your feet, igniting imagination into your brain, awakening your thoughts, tempting your eyes to look at one another as co-creators of this human game, working together to figure out who we are, why we are here, revealing ourselves unconditionally accepted, free from the monetary illusion of the emotional cry of our hearts and the negativity that hides in our thoughts. Thoughts are words, words are power. Power can change a nation. Watch what you think and choose what you say. Be accountable to creation.